now, but not too many people in the industry or outside the industry know the history of the dive door. So I wanted to pull pick a cherry from the tree that we had, done our video with you about Intrepid, and we sort of went through all of your firsts that Intrepid was famous for. And one of those that stuck out the most was the dive door. So I wanted to spend a few minutes sharing with, the world how that whole process came about. Let's take it from when Hillsboro County contacted you and to, obviously from the conception to the concept to the actual designing it and the actual implementation of the project. So tell us how it all went down.
Sure. It was back around 1993, 94. It actually happened in 94, but there were some preliminary talks. And they came to us saying that they needed some kind of a rescue recovery door. And it all started with being able to retrieve people, whether they were rescuing someone and having to bring them over the hull side of the boat with that much freeboard. It's really difficult. Or in some cases, they were having issues with people jumping off the Skyway Bridge and having to do recoveries.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was terrible. And they said trying to get somebody in the boat was so hard. Was there a way that we could come up with something? And being a semi-custom boat builder and being local to Hillsboro County, they said they figured they would check with us and see if it was something that we could do. And we met, we talked. I remember we were with my tooling department at the time, and we basically took some measurements and said, let's just cut a door. We knew that we could go into the hull side, cut it, run a couple bulkheads on either side. We measured them with their equipment, with their gear, gave them a little bit of extra space, and literally walked over there, marked it with a China marker, cut it with a Sawzall, did it with Caesar Cruz, who was another guy in our tooling department. He did most of the glass work, and we tied that bulkhead into the hull side, and we really just overbuilt it. And then we took the piece that we cut out and made it the door. We literally put hinges on the bottom of it, put some steps in the back side of it, so when it dropped down, it would allow you to step up into the boat. It was funny, we did it and then figured it was a one-off custom, because we do one-off custom stuff all the time. And all of a sudden we had people say, hey, I saw the Hillsboro County boat. Is there any way that you would do something like that for us? We're divers and it's so hard to get in and out of the boat, because up until then, everybody had an Armstrong ladder. You have those Armstrong ladders that have the clip and it's got the rungs on the side, so you can climb up with flippers or whatnot. And it's uncomfortable and it's unstable, and to be able to do something with a wide base was something special. And one of the things that people don't know is at one point we started doing more and more of them, and Wellcraft attempted to sue us. And they said that they did the dive door before us. And it was years after, and ironically, the very first boat that we ever did it on was the Hillsboro County Sheriff's boat, which predated what they tried to do, and they had to retract their suit. But yeah, we've done that for quite a while now.
That's a fantastic story. So how many boats did you build for Hillsboro County before that boat?
Actually, that was, I think, the first one that we did. We had done boats for Broward County and a few other municipalities. And when they came to us, that kind of is what started it with Hillsboro County. And we've done several boats, including the Port Authority boat, since.
Fantastic. So how long, from start to finish, is it something that, obviously you weren't president back then, you were actually the one cutting the door in this boat. How long did it take for you to actually, design it to where it was, where you actually delivered the boat? Is it something that you just do quickly? Tell us how long that takes.
Yeah, ironically, we just
did it. Wow.
Yeah. And we do stuff like that all the time. Not to shift gears, but when we did the 375 Nomad after the 345, I literally took a 345 deck and cut it in pieces and stretched it and sat it on the 375 hull and glassed it all together and created another mold. We do that kind of stuff all the time. Other people look at it and think it's, such a feat to do, but I guess we just don't know any better. We just do it.
You just do it at Intrepid. That's awesome. So after that, you have a client that comes to you and says, hey, I like this side door or dive door. At what point did Intrepid say, we're going to go ahead and make this a standard feature?
Well, it took years, because each one of those in the beginning was literally building the entire boat, cutting the door by hand, glassing everything by hand, finishing the hull side piece you took off to be the door. It was painful every time. And then we kind of had an epiphany and said, you know what? I think we could build an insert in the hull mold and create the receiver, which would eliminate a lot of the work. Plus, it would be so much stronger to just incorporate that structure into the hull. So we did that. And once we figured out a way to do it and make it a little bit more efficient, we said, you know what? We're doing almost every boat anyway. So let's just make it standard. You know, and then at that point, then you have to figure out, how do I make it better? You know, you can't just say, this is the door. You know, and everybody wants a different iteration of it. You know, all of a sudden we had people say, we love your door, but the problem is, when I go to fold it down at the dock, it doesn't work. You know, it's great for diving, great for swimming, but in my particular case, you know, I want dock access. In some cases, we did it for people with wheelchairs. You know, so that was the other part. So then we decided that we would make it swing in. Well, we did that for a while and realized that when it swang into the cockpit, it took a lot of cockpit space. You know, you had this appendage sitting out in the cockpit, which you had to kind of go around, which was very uncomfortable. So then we said, how do we make it to where we can make it go away? So then what we did is we made it to where it would lift up and rotate and actually go over the gunnel and literally not take any cockpit space. So we designed hinges to do that. And, you know, now we're doing hull side platforms, you know, where the whole hull side folds down and it has a ladder built into it. So, you know, it just continues to evolve over the years.
Well, that's an exciting story of the history of what they call the rescue door or the dead body door, whatever, the corpse door. It's really exciting to see how you cut it yourself, designed it, cut it, did everything, delivered it, and then now you're actually making, you know, look what you've done. You've revolutionized the entire industry. It seems like that is a standard feature on most manufacturers. So great job on that.
Thanks. No, it was a team effort. We had a bunch of people that worked on it. It's just an honor to be a part of history. That's all.
Yeah, that's cool. So how many motors are on that boat now? I heard 20 to 30 motors since 1994.
Yeah, there's probably been 30 sets of motors. It was funny. They literally just brought that boat back here this week to do some repairs. They had a runaway boat that they had to corral, and they corralled it with the original Intrepid with the dive door, and they took some hull damage, and it's here getting repaired. And it was funny. We were joking back and forth, and one of the officers said, I heard that you want this boat when we're done with it. I said, yeah, I'll buy it. You know, I said, I want it. So
that's awesome. A little piece of history.
Yeah. And they talked about possibly retiring it soon. And if they do, I'm going to buy it.
That's awesome. Are you going to buy it yourself, or the company's going to buy it?
No, I'm going to buy it. It's going to be
for you.
It's mine.
Awesome. That's yours. Bring your baby home, as you say.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. All right, everyone. That's the lesson. Today's lesson on the dive door. The corpse door, the rescue door, was actually a brainchild of Ken Clinton and Intrepid Powerboats from 1994. Congratulations again.
Thanks.
All right, everyone. Have a great day. And don't forget to tune into next week on another episode of The Boat Builder, where we really get our hands dirty on boat manufacturing from one of the experts in the industry, Ken Clinton. All right, everyone. Have an epic day.
Take care.